With 2020 forcing people to stay put inside and be unable to go out and enjoy the real world, unless you're one of those people who believe in compromising health and safety for a fun time, many people have turned to discovering the joy of indoor hobbies. A few examples being cooking, drawing, and for people who have been shut-ins, the current events have led to an individual having more time to return to the hobbies that they used to have. For someone such as myself, this means going back into the realm of anime. I stopped obsessively anticipating new anime shows since I became disappointed with every new release that fell into the same old categories that looked pretty but was shallow on the inside. It was like eating the same kind of ramen packaged in a different way, and for someone who valued new concepts and ideas never thought of before, it was disappointing to know that anime had become that same stale ramen I ate when I was bored and hungry but didn't really want to put any effort into making. However, before my disinterest in the general concept of new anime releases, one of the few genres I grew to dread seeing get released was Isekai. Back in the earlier days when I didn't even know what Isekai was, the concept of traveling into another world was mind-boggling to a younger me. While the shows that introduced me to the concept isn't my favorite anymore or one I would consider a good Isekai, it still blew my young mind to the idea of Isekai. But with the inflation of generic Isekai anime in the later years, I turned to Isekai manga. I also had a brief stint with the cultivation genre, but that genre is even more lackluster in its offered content, and so I returned to my Isekai manga hunting. However, this isn't an Isekai manga recommendation list, so I won't be listing all the interesting Isekai manga I've stumbled into. Before I stopped completely watching Isekai or anime in general, I tended to at least watch one per month. But as Isekai started becoming more prominent and my time to watch anime has lessened, I ended up becoming disinterested in the genre and how some Isekai, despite having an interesting concept, but falling flat on its face because of the characters, plot, and or the story, can't back it up to make it worth the read. Surprisingly, Netflix was the reason why I turned back into watching Isekai. With the current selection of anime in Netflix being a mixed bag of A. Anime I already watched, B. Anime I personally would consider bad, or C. Anime in a genre I don't watch often. Boredom is what gave me the opportunity to watch some of the Isekai anime that people have lauded as the best in the genre, or at least one they would recommend to new people in said genre. One of the anime I watched was Rising of the Shield Hero, or in Japanese, Tate no Yusha no Nariagari. I'm going to assume that most people know what the story of the anime is, but for someone who hasn't heard of the show, I'll give a very brief overview. Naofumi Iwatani is sent to another world to become one of the 4 cardinal heroes and fight interdimensional hordes of monsters called waves. Personally, I call them the Van Gogh waves because of how they are drawn and animated in the show. The anime is very enjoyable. The earlier conflicts might put off some viewers, but if you stick around to watch it, the later episodes shed light on the more confusing actions on the more detestable characters. I enjoyed the wholesome moments of the show, specifically the growth of Naofumi's girl power team and himself. However, some of the fight scenes do take some time to really become impactful and amazing, if you ignore the 3 idiots spamming the same old abilities in every wave. If there were some things I'd have to nitpick on, it'd be the fact that we don't really get to know the kingdom of Melromark. Sure, there are hints of what life is like and what people think of in regards to the shield hero, but there isn't really any exploration to make us understand Melromark, the king and its citizens, and how Naofumi interacts with an unknown world with preconceived notions of his status as the shield hero. Next up on my Isekai anime list is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, or Tensura. The show starts off right away, giving no time for the viewers to really process the life of the main character, Satoru Mikami, who gains a bunch of perks as he gets isekai'd by one of Truck-kun's disciples, the nameless, faceless knife stabber. The anime is quite fast-paced, with Satoru Mikami, now named Rimuru Tempest, gaining skills and is on their way to developing a country. While I would have some comeuppance with the fast-paced in any other show, with Tensura, it doesn't really feel that way in regards to the growth of the character. However, the same can't be said for the other characters that are given backstories, as it feels like they weren't given a chance to be a character and end up being more a plot device that I couldn't care less about. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching both Tate no Yusha and Tensura. They're both enjoyable shows that have revealed to me that isekai anime is actually not that bad. Am I going to watch the other isekai shows that are available on Netflix? Probably not. I only watched these two shows because I was bored and willing to give the isekai anime genre a watch. I'd be more willing to read isekai manga than anime because it allows me to read and absorb the isekai manga at my own pace, and because I can easily filter out the isekai that I don't want to read at all. However, that doesn't mean I won't ever touch the isekai anime. Usually the isekai genre is tied to the fantasy genre, but I know that there are isekai not tied to a fantasy setting. I'm unsure if you'd count The Devil is a Part-Timer as isekai, and those are some concepts I'd really love to see explored in anime. If you know any isekai that isn't tied to the fantasy concept or generally game mechanics, where the characters have XP and all of that, I'd really love to give it a chance because I feel like isekai anime has more to offer than what is currently being given to the audience. And reading manga, which means there are more chances for me to stumble into an isekai manga that I really enjoy. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching my first YouTube video as an anime YouTuber. I am sorry for the quality of the audio. Hopefully my editing suffices, but I'm literally recording in a dark, well, it's not a dark room, but it is a cramped room. And I know it's a bit echoey and I know you can hear background noise. I'm trying hard to remove it so you don't have to hear it, but I apologize in advance that the audio quality isn't as good as I would have loved it to be. Hopefully in the future I can change this, but for now this is what you're getting. So goodbye everyone and thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.